Greenhell has just released its major Spirits of the Amazonia update, which includes the first part of another story mode, taking place before the main story. I've been looking forward to this update since I first saw the roadmap with its announcement, seeing as I had absolutely loved the first campaign, binged through it in one night too, and completing my first run in just less than 6 hours. I was ready to sink my teeth into another adventure with Jake.
I'm not in any danger. You know they are friendly. I just need to gain their trust, like you did. Don't worry, I'll fix this. Just wait for me. And Mia, imagine how we could change the world. Huh? What's that?
Oh! Oyohwa! Nakta!
So far I've played about 5.5 hours of Spirits of Amazonia, and for the first bit it was great. The opening cinematic sets everything up, and we once more find ourselves in the middle of nowhere with no idea what's happening. Good old classic Jake. At least this time we're probably not in a time loop. So our first quest is to locate the masked elder that presumably helped us and dumped our body out in the wilds, and to find the boat that we came in on. We don't have a map straight away, so we have to rely on good old exploration. Quite early on, we find a wounded tribesman. Our poor man is suffering from a laceration on his arm, but instead of being happy with a Bob standard leaf bandage that would have done the job perfectly fine, our man wants the good stuff, which means either finding ash or honey to go inside the bandage. And so off we go on the hunt for honey, stopping partway to read a fragment of one of the many legends painted upon a stone. We do find a beehive to the south of the cave the tribesman was hunkered in. And while we were there, we found our boat, but that needed to wait. Our tribesman had a timer above his head, and we needed to return post-haste with the honey. We craft up a honey and leaf bandage and apply it to the injury. We get thanked, received 30 trust points, and the tribesman just disintegrates without even giving us a clue where his home could be. Well, back to the boat it is then. The boat has a decent supply of, well, supplies.
Poor Pedro.
A book which unlocks a lot of crafting recipes, a mattress, poor Pedro, and a broken radio. No surprises there. Interacting with Pedro, we get the first taste of the new bane of my existence. The Burning Pyre. The pyre takes 2 logs, 6 sticks, 4 palm leaves, another 2 logs. Oh, and your axe will break. A lot. Then 4 planks, which means another 2 trees need to come down, and you have to fit them into your bag, and I'm pretty sure they don't stack, or most certainly weren't stacking for me. And once you've finished your bout of deforestation, you just need 7 banana leaves. With all that done, it's time to let that baby burn.
Rest in peace.
With Pedro now resting in peace, all we have left in our journey is to find the friendly tribe. Easy enough, right? Through exploring along the coastline, we eventually come across an old broken down steamboat. We spend some time exploring the boat, and when we eventually make our ways to the top, we find a box containing a map. Finally, now we'll be lost while knowing where we are. My plan was to head north towards the larger water sources, because surely a major tribe would settle beside water, right? On our journeys, we come across another legend stone and are crying and singing in a distance. A hostile tribe. We quickly build a leaf hut and save. With backup secured, we went in for the daring rescue. And promptly died, but that's alright, we could just try again. Or the enemies could just despawn, that works too. Either way, we broke open the cage and our damsel in distress gives her thanks. We gain another 30 trust points and she disintegrates like the last guy. At this point I was starting to wonder the value of these trust points. If saving a tribesperson was 30 a pop, how many was the end goal going to be? We continued our way north, taking down hostile tribesmen that seemed to be abundant in the equally abundant cave systems. Further to the north, we rescue another tribeswoman for another 30 trust points, and she too disintegrates without a word of help. More caves and more tribesmen. At least our archery seemed to be getting better. Coming out of this cave, we had started to make for the south, seeing as we'd gone as far north as we could. While we couldn't find the tribe, we were certainly finding plenty of its people, this time another tribesman that required our nice honey bandages. And he gives us 30 trust points and disappears, yada yada yada, we're still no closer to the main tribe. More caves, more walking, another body of water lacking a tribe. And another night we put up a little hut to sleep and save in, so our days of wandering aimlessly aren't wasted. And finally, after days of walking and just under 3 hours of my actual time, a tooltip pops up to say we found the village and friendly singing greets our ears. But of course, where else could they have been? The middle of the map! How much more obvious could it be? To be fair though, some of that is through my own fault, but it is still rather annoying that all that time was spent just wandering through the jungle, lost. Checking the journal, we finally get to see the trust points goal. Only a measly 1,000 points. That'll be easy, right? We only need to save 30 more tribespeople and they'll completely trust us. If we can even find them, that is. We find the masked elder and we find out that he only helped us because Mia had a good rep with the Yabawaka and that we were going to be helping them recover their people from the wilds after the tribe had been attacked. And so begins a very long series of fetch quests. At the very least, it appeared we only needed to get up to 800 trust points. Admittedly, one highlight is that you can, finally, catch the kid that runs away from you. Haha, not so incorporeal now, are we, brat? Another way to gain trust points is to disassemble camps of the hostile tribesmen. You know, all those camps we passed through on the way? Yep, you bet we have to go back and tear them apart. And the number of points gained depends on the camp size. Throughout the jungle, bodies tied to trees can be found and cut down, and a ritual pyre can be constructed. You know, the one requiring every leaf possible and 6 trees. Gaining us a nice 20 points of trust. My axe broke twice. The days tend to repeat now. Eat, sleep, and wander through the jungle trying to find anything to gain us trust points. Do a few renovations here and there, slowly adding up the points, making our way through the jungle, trying to find the next hostile home to face our axe, until eventually you find a group of hostile tribesmen that outnumber you. You end up dying and your last save is from a little while ago. There goes my progress. Sure, it's easy enough to go back and do it again, but most of the small locations aren't marked on the map and it makes it quite the pain to track. As you may have gathered by now, I absolutely adore the Burning Pyres. And I was simply overjoyed when I got to make it again for this guy. After quite a while walking and not finding much, we found the old cage from before, and this time we fully destroyed it and get points. Yay! Don't forget, nothing says fun like a surprise attack from a puma while walking around. Another day and another small camp gets taken down. Oh look, they even left a body too, how thoughtful. Enjoy your forest fire, seeing as you have half a forest that supplies at your feet. Another couple of days walking later, we find another hanged villager, and many trees later the pyre is complete. A little more walking and we find another kid. This one sat on a nice bamboo bridge. He tries to escape, but not today, brat! Now, which way was home? It appears that we can't open our map while we have a child slung over our shoulder, and the coordinates aren't too helpful. Well, that's an issue. Right, kid, just stay there while I check the map, and you're gone. Great. Oh, and there's a leopard too, even better. Hey kid, can you just wait for me? I'll be back in a moment. Never mind, you carry on being free. I'm dead now. And the last save was just after the puma attack. Joy. Alright, so that's been my first 5 hours of the new story so far. I've enjoyed having a friendly tribe to interact with and help them. However, at the moment I feel that this is currently a colossal fetch quest that is quite unforgiving. I know this is what I signed up for in terms of the game, but it just gets so frustrating that you're constantly losing at times half an hour of work because you died at the end of the day and you have to go find everything again. In the main story, death didn't feel like this much of a barrier. At least there you learnt something and there were several major landmarks. In this one, at least to me, it feels like endless jungle and circles. I will be continuing on to see what happens, but for now it appears to be the same cycle of gameplay with a bare thread of motivation to keep you going. There are no small goals to keep you going along the way, it's just fetch quest. Well, this turned to be rather negative, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts on this update. Do you like it, lump it, or something in between? Thank you all for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!